Hey, I'm him, and this past week included a lot of progression, but also a little bit of frustration when it came to Mythic Plus. I'll start there because I ran, I think maybe a dozen or so dungeons this past week, and I got every dungeon timed now, at least an 8, which is what my goal was for the week at least. Groups this week seemed to be pretty good. Everybody did what they needed to do, and no one was toxic, except for one guy actually in the Priory group that I had. He was just, you couldn't make him happy. Everything was upsetting him, even though we timed that dungeon without any issues. The fact that we weren't doing everything perfectly, and the fact that, like, for example, one time I accidentally killed him because I wasn't looking health bars and soaked something that did damage to him. That was like a big freak out moment. But the last dungeon that I did need to time was that Priory. The only one I'd run this season so far was an untimed 5, I think in week 1. And I ended up getting into a group that was running a 10, and that's the one that we ended up timing. So my first 10 of the season was the last dungeon that I needed to actually time a dungeon in. And because I went from an untimed 5 to a timed 10, I got like 120 or something rating from just that dungeon alone, which made me laugh. But everything else, like I said, was an 8 or a 9. There was one other 10 that I got into on Sunday afternoon, which was for Operation Floodgate. And that group also ended up being fantastic, except for one specific part of the dungeon that made me so mad that I rage quit for the rest of the afternoon. So we're on the first boss, he's almost dead. It's been like 2.5, maybe 3 minutes, and my Ravager comes off cooldown, so I go and do that and just immediately click on the ground because why wouldn't I? Lo and behold, for some reason, my Ravager goes on the ceiling. I don't know where because it's an outdoor dungeon, so the fact that there's a ceiling at all is confusing. It goes up into the ceiling and then slowly drops down on the ads behind the boss where you have to go click those bombs. And that trash pack, of course, has a raid-wide AoE in it. So that ended up causing, I think, like 3.5 minutes when you consider the poll plus like the 25 seconds of deaths. The entire dungeon, I'm cursing up a storm, just completely furious at what had just happened. For a little bonus kick in the nuts, on Swamp Face it happened again. My Ravager went into the ceiling. Fortunately, this time there were no ads nearby where it dropped. And then, of course, we don't time the dungeon by about 30 seconds. I had to literally step away, go for a walk, and let out this very creative string of curse word sentences. So that really pissed me off. Like I said, I didn't even do pet battles on Sunday. Like, I just logged off and did not log back in. I was so angry. But at the very least, I got enough dungeons done for a full dungeon row in my vault this week, so hopefully something good out of that. Oh, and I probably should mention the rating. So I ended up getting 305 more Mythic Plus rating, and I'm ending it at 2,334. Speaking of my vaults, my warrior ended up going up another 5 item levels. He's ending the week at 660. In the vault, I did have a couple of upgrades as well. I was tempted to take the heroic tier hands to replace my champ ones. I also had the option to change out my boots from champ to heroic because I had the same boots in the vaults. But after simming, I ended up taking the House of Cards trinket because it was the best option by far. And I think it pairs up pretty nicely with my Sephorium pacemaker that I'm using. I upgraded both of these trinkets fully. I upgraded a bunch of other gear throughout the week with crests. Funny enough, I actually need ruined crests more than I need gilded right now, but I'm season capped, so I can only get so much. So I was kind of torn between, do I want to do 6s and 7s and get those crests, or do I want to continue pushing my rating and getting to 10s if I can? On top of that also, actually, I was able to recraft my weapon, which got it from 636 to 675. Very happy about that. Where I don't think I need any more gear at all is delves, and this past week on stream, which was on Wednesday, I did a few tier 11 delves. I'm slowly making my way through that achievement. I tried to do some Mythic Pluses on stream, but unfortunately no one was inviting me, so I didn't get to do that. I'm hoping for some better luck this week, so if you want to come check out the stream, I'll be doing that this Wednesday on Twitch and YouTube at around 12 o'clock Pacific. I think I'm missing like 5 or so more tier 11 delves. I would have run through them all this week, but I just saw the delve row was full with tier 11, so I was like, I'll wait until this coming week so I can refill my vault and have an actual reason to go do it. Because maybe there is an upgrade, I'm just not seeing it, but there's not really any rush for that. Outside of that, I jumped onto my priest and did the Liberation of Undermine in LFR as healer. And I kind of hated it. I've been saying that I want to main my priest for heals this season, and I just really did not have a good time. I don't know what's changed, but I feel like one, I have like a 590 item level, so I'm definitely not doing as much as I could be. But just in general too, I feel like there's not enough AoE healing. I feel like I'm obviously playing the class wrong. I'm just kind of spamming stuff. But when I read through the abilities, it just doesn't feel like there's a lot of AoE. So I think I'll go through and kind of watch other people play Priest and see what they're doing and how it all works. Because when I was leveling, it was a lot of fun, but in a raid, it just really sucked. I did not have fun at all. I'll jump into the achievements for the week. I got the Top Skimmer special from getting Renown 19 of the Cartels of Undermine. That cost 11.3 thousand resonance crystals. And then for achievements, I ended up getting 105 more points. I got exalted with the cartels, and then I also did the chetting it twice achievement, which is to hand in that checklist. Only 98 more to go for the last achievement there. I completed 100 puzzles in Delves, and then I also did the family fighter achievement, which is just to do all the pet battle stuff in Argus. Finally done that one. That sucked. My pet battle bar on the main page of achievements is definitely getting to a much more respectable spot, which I'm very happy about. And I think I just have the original Legion stuff, original BFA, and all of Shadowlands left to do for those achievements. So there is progress being made. So my goal this week is pretty much going to be queuing up for 10s exclusively when it comes to Mythic Plus. I'll see how that feels throughout the week, and on the weekend, if I need to, just drop that down to like an 8 or a 9, or like, I guess 6s and 7s for those other quests that I need as well. But yeah, primarily focusing on getting those 10s done so I have all the portals unlocked. I'd like to get all the other delves done this week at tier 11 that I don't have. And then depending on kind of where the timing all lines up, it'd be really nice if I could get some of the BFA pet stuff done. I'm kind of starting from scratch on that one though, so that might be a couple week long project. For alts, I'd like to get my Paladin into Undermine. I'm a little bit anxious because I don't really know the tank mechanics. So we'll see how that goes. And then, like I said earlier, try to figure out which healer I want to play and see what I'm doing wrong with Priest. But that's it for me. That's all the stuff that happened to me last week and all the stuff I'm planning on doing this week. But let me know what's going on in your world. What are you doing in game? What are you doing outside of game? Anything and everything. I would love to hear about it. Make sure if you like this video, you give it a thumbs up. And if you like this channel, give it a subscribe because that would really help me out. If you're looking for something chill to watch after this, you can check out the video that I made ranking all of the login screens in WoW. The top 3 were a bit of a toss-up, but I do stand by that, and number 1 for sure is still number 1. But thank you for watching. I love you lots. Have a fantastic week, an even greater weekend, and I'll talk at you next week. Bye.